What's going on, everybody? It's your boy. Today I'm going to be doing a breakdown of my track Cutie. I'm going to give you the background of the track. I'm going to go down how I arranged the track, how I made the drop, how I mixed the project, and yeah, let's just jump right into it. So it's a pretty big project, I guess. Let's see here. So I worked in total, it took 6 hours to make the track, and it's got 82 plugins used, 55 channels, and 37 mixer tracks, which is pretty generic, I guess. I know some producers, like especially using EDM, use way more channels. So not bad, not bad. The background of why I made this track when I started. I started this track in July. I remember it was just one day I woke up and I checked my phone, went to Facebook, and one of the Facebook shorts had like a clip from, I don't even know the name of the show. I've never even watched it. I guess it's called Dad Cop or something. I'll put a link to the original in the description, but it was a clip from it with these guys in the garage, and they were singing this song, like making fun of the cop, and I was like, I could sample that. So that's what I did. I got up and I went straight to the computer and I found the clip. I sampled that part, and then I kind of just worked around it, and 6 hours later I ended up with Cutie. So yeah, what I'm gonna be doing is just giving you guys a breakdown of the whole project. But yeah, that's really the background of it. I just seen the clip from the show on Facebook, and I was just like, hey, I could sample this, and I did. But yeah, all right, so the first thing would be to show you guys the sample itself. So I'll show you that. In your pocket, are you just happy to see me? She was the short and shorty, and he looks like he wants to chase me. Cap cuties, shooting on duty, baby blue booties, go ahead and lock me up. The red teeth, make it sexy. The red teeth, make it sexy. So that's the sample there. I'll put a link to it, of course, in the description to the original for you guys to hear. What I did was, of course, I chopped it up. I put it in time with the BPM of the song, which is 150, and I got the key information for it, and I worked around it and made the chords and everything around the key of that actual sample. I do not remember the key. I just know that I put it into TuneBat and got the key, and I worked around it. But once I had that, it's not really many other instruments in the song other than the sample itself. I have some brass here. I have a saw for the lead. I have a Future Drop preset, playing some chords. I have a piano, which is doing the typical dubstep offbeat stab thing. I have a saw, and then I have one of my own Serum preset pads plays during the second drop with a build to the second drop. So right here I have the brass, and it plays this chord progression here. And this one is the phase saw, which plays this little lead melody here. Next is this Future drop lead. It plays this little melody chord progression here. Next is the piano, which plays it follows the chord progression, the same chord progression pretty much. It's doing the offbeat stab of it. So this is the piano. And next up we have the saw, and the saw plays this progression here. And also, let me apologize beforehand. So my computer is a potato, and it can't handle like 99% of the projects I make on it. So I apologize because a lot of these are not going to play very clearly, unfortunately. So yeah, my computer's a potato. So if I play everything together, it will sound like this here. So that does it for like the main instruments of the song, with the sample included. Next, I guess I'll go ahead and which I probably should have did first. I'll show you guys the drums. So for the drum pattern, standard dubstep pattern, a simple kick snare pattern. So for the cymbals, of course I have a crash. I'm using a hi-hat, open hat, and a chant. So very simple pattern. The hat hits every 2 steps, the open hat hits every 4 steps, and the chant hits every other 4 steps. This is what my simple pattern sounds like. Yeah, 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 yeah. And if I play everything together, the kick, snare, and all the cymbals together, it sounds like this here. Yeah, 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 yeah. I also forgot to mention there is sub bass playing. The sub bass is just playing the bass notes from the chord progression. Like I said, all the instruments are pretty much literally playing the same chord progression. But the sub bass is playing just the bass notes of the chord progression. A really simple sub bass preset here, nothing special about it. Aside from the rest of the instruments themselves and the bass, I also have, as far as the effects goes, I have the siren that plays at the beginning of the song. I have a riser, a downer. I have 2 other risers that I use for the build up to the drop. But there's not really many other effects up here other than just standard white noise risers and downers and the police siren effect. That pretty much sums up the entirety of the song. Like I said, it's a pretty simple project. It's not really that much to it. So what I'll do now is I'll play it from the beginning up until the drop itself, just so you guys can hear everything put together. Again, my computer is a potato, so I apologize for the inability of it to process the song for you guys to hear very clearly. But moving on to the drop, so the sub bass pattern stays the same the whole song. I never changed the sub bass pattern. So just so you guys can hear the sub bass, I'm gonna play it for you. This is the bass line, and like I said, it doesn't change throughout the entirety of the song. It's just the same bass line. Now onto the drop itself, there's only 3 patterns I use for the drop. If you listen to the song, you know that it pretty much this drop pretty much repeats throughout the whole song. So it's only three different variations of the same drop. So for the drop, the main sound that you guys are hearing is i.n.l.y, and that's from Wobaduck's Serum preset pack. So shout out to Wobaduck for that. The other sounds that are used, they come from Ghost Hack, and I believe that's used in the second drop, the second part of the song. So those are where those sounds came from. They are not mine, but I do encourage you guys, if you would like to use these sounds, to purchase them from these guys, Ghost Hack and Wobaduck, to support them. But what I did was I took the Robo i.n.l.y preset from Wobaduck. I made two different versions of it. I took the regular version here, and I made another instance of it sped up. I know I could have just automated a macro, but I like to, while you can see you have the envelope showing when it's speed up and slow down, I like to be able to see it laid out on the piano roll. So I make more than one instance of the same sound, and if I need it sped up or slowed down, I just clone it and do it in the VST itself. But I have that i.n.l.y. Like I said, I have the regular speed one, and then I have one sped up, and I also have his other preset. I have this Jaws preset, and it sounds like this here. I took those sounds here and I followed the bass line, and I just laid them out wherever I could really see and hear like a groove with, I guess. Played around, arranged them, and this is what I got here for the drop. For the second version of the drop, the second part, it's going to again be the Jaws preset, which I tweaked just to have a slightly different timbre to it, and also it's going to be using the RoboTalk preset from Ghost Hack's Rhythm Revolution 2 presets, to be exact. I arranged those and got this here. For the third part, which does in fact play only in the second part of the song here, is going to end up using that Cybro preset here, along with the Jaws preset and the i.n.l.y. So that sounds like this here. All right, so that pretty much does it for the drop. In the background of the drop, I still have the brass playing, I have the phase saw playing, I have the piano and the saw. The only thing that's not playing is the future chord, but I do have those playing in the background as well. Also, every 8 bars, I put a snippet from the sample up there. So what I'll do now is I'll go back to the build and I will play you guys the drop. So that is the first drop. I know it sounded very terrible. I wish my computer would perform much better, especially since I'm trying to show you guys a breakdown of the track. But unfortunately, this is the best she can do at the time. She's trying her best. Next it goes into a build. The build is pretty much the same as the intro, beginning of the song. It's just that this time I added like a little fill, a little bridge area here. I have a drum loop that plays like a trap pattern here, which sounds like this. So along with that drum loop, I still have the brass, the phase saw, and the future drop chord playing in the background. But this time I did add my Gamer Dude plug to it in Serum. It's playing this small little melodic art pattern, which sounds like this here. And that's pretty much it for after the first drop. It goes into, like I said, pretty much the same as the intro. It's just that I add this little feel here, which goes into the drop once again. And from there is pretty much the same, except it just goes it goes into the third version of the drop. So what I'll do, since nothing really has changed, I'll go ahead and I'll play it from the end of the second drop to the second part of the song, and we'll just go ahead and play this all the way through. And then it goes into my outro. I'm not even gonna play the outro. I have no idea what I'm doing at this point to do the outros of the songs. I kind of just put together and yeah, I don't even know what the outro is. It's just an outro. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole song. If I did miss anything or there was something you were confused about, leave me a comment or message me and let me know, and I'll explain it for you, or I'll update the video. So next, what I'll be talking about is how I mixed the song and how I went about automating some things. I'll try not to confuse you guys, and also I'll try not to confuse myself in the mix of talking about this. So first things first, I'll open up the mixer here and we'll just go down each sound one by one. So on my kick, all I ever use really on my kicks are generally going to be just a wave shaper and soft clipper usually. When you do your drums, one thing is about the selection. if you get a good drum sample, generally you don't have to put any effects on it at all. But I usually don't put anything on my kicks other than a wave shaper or maybe a soft clipper. For this one, it's just a wave shaper to make it a tad bit louder. And I also have a low pass I made here on Parametric EQ2, which gets automated in for the drop here. If I play that here, you can see it gets automated in here, and it gradually goes away. So that's where the automation for that comes in. I also automated the pitch of the kick here. I put the range up to 9, and as you can see here, I didn't put it all the way up to the max, but just enough to give it that kick bending pitch, you know, to give it that oomph to let you guys know that the drop is coming, I guess. I also decreased the volume of the kick going into the drop because I have the drop low pass and it's coming gradually becoming louder, so I dropped the volume of the kick so that the drop could punch through a little bit. But I'll get to that when I get to that. Next is the snare. On the snare, I just have a wave shaper and some reverb up there. There is no automation for the snare. That is all there is on that. On the drum loop, I do have effector up there. I wanted to give it that 8-bit like video game kind of sound. So what I did was I went and I used the lo-fi preset on effector to give it that sound. And so with that on, it sounds like this. Without it, it sounds like this. So it really helped give it like that sort of like that playful video game sound, I guess. That's it for the drums. When I mix, I try to organize everything using mix buses. So even though hi-hats, open hats, crashes, and kick drums, they're all, they're all drums, I like to divide the kick and snare. I generally put into a bus by themselves because they're like the main driving force of the song. So I put them in a bus by themselves, and everything else as far as like the crash, the open hats, the chants and perks, they get put into another bus because I only sidechain instruments to the kick and snare. I don't sidechain anything to the cymbals. So on the crash, I drop the volume down and I do have a sausage fattener on it. On the reverse crash, I don't have anything on there, just drop that volume. The hi-hat, I have it I'm using Pancake. I believe Pancake is free. I'm using that to pan the hi-hat to the left and the right. For the open hat, I also have sausage fattener on it to make it just a tad bit louder. What I do is, while I do use the faders, I'll use wave shaper or say like sausage fattener to kind of like fine tune the volume of the sound. Sometimes I know I could easily just use the fader and could do the volume that way, but for some reason it's just using the fader plus another plugin on the channel kind of helps me fine tune the volume. I know you'll never get anything perfect when it comes to music, but that's just how I do it. And for this, I have it panned to the left and right very harshly pan to the left and right for the open hat. Also on the chant, there's nothing on that. On the cymbal bus here, I did put a soft clipper up there, and I do have sausage fattener once again to raise the overall volume of the cymbals. So that's what I have on there. I do have the cymbal. I do have an automation clip for the cymbals volumes. It doesn't look like I have an automation for it, but I believe, so yeah, I think at one point in time I was going to decrease the volume of the cymbals for the build, but I did not do that. I went back and just kept the volume level. So while there is an automation for the volume of the cymbals, it is not really being used. The volume stays consistent throughout. So next is the sample itself. I go over the mixing of that. And to be honest with you, as you can see, there's a lot up here. And what I really was trying to do was to take out a lot of the background noise of the clip itself and to kind of make it sound sampled. Like I get this from a clip, but I wanted it to sound like it was pulled from an actual song. It's kind of weird, but I did some weird things with this one. I couldn't really explain like how. I know I did a high pass and low pass to try and cut out the drums, and then from there I did an EQ. I added vibes to kind of make it sound kind of old, to kind of level it out a little bit more, to make it sound like it was sampled. A little bit of flanger, and then I added another EQ where I took away a lot of the low mid and I took away a lot of the high and the upper mid. I added OTT to try to level things out, and then I put a soft clipper. So without those effects, it sounds like this. She was the shorty, and he looks like he wants to chase me. And with those effects, it sounds like this here. She was the shorty, and he looks like he wants to chase me. So that's what I put on the sample there. Next I'll go to the brass here. The brass, there's nothing on it but I just cut this sub of it out. I cut those low frequencies out of it with parametric EQ2. For the pluck saw, there's nothing on that. On the future chords, I have some flanger up there as well as some chorus. I have the chorus mixed at about 58%, and I have the flanger at 50%, half and half. On the piano, I have sausage fattener, which I put the fatness knob up quite high. Again, I dropped it down pretty low, and then I used the sausage fattener to fine tune it to the volume that I wanted it to be at. From there, I have some flanger up there. The flanger sits around 29%, and a reverb too to add some reverb to it. On the saw here, I have OTT here to level out those frequencies. I have fruity chorus here. The mix on that is about 29% as well. I have some delay on it using fruity delay bank. Mix level at about 29. I have some reverb 2 up there, and I also put a soft clipper on it. And just so you can hear the difference, this is what the saw sounds like without effects, and this is what it sounds like with the effects. So definitely brightened it up and made it a little bit wider and gave it more depth. And as far, oh yeah, the gamer dude, I have fruity chorus up there, I have flanger, and I have reverb up there. The flanger sits at around 36%, and the chorus is right at 50. I'm pretty sure that's 53%. So next up, I'll move to, also for this here, while I do have the sample, I have the sample and all the other instruments going to a bus itself. I do route everything that's not vocal to its own little mixer track for the most part. So I put them there to kind of separate them. I believe when I went to do this, I was originally going to side chain. I was going to side chain the vocal to the other instruments, and then side chain the drop to the instruments and the vocal, but I cut that out. But I do separate vocals from the rest of the instruments and put them into two different channels, but I both route them to the same mix bus, if that makes sense. So next up, I have my I have the i.n.l.y. Again, that is the Robo i.n.l.y. preset from Wobbleduck's preset pack. I have Sausage Fattener up there, which I put the color and the fatness knob up. On the Zoo, also have the reason this is called Zoo, it's called Zoo, but as you can see, I'm using the Jaws preset was because I was using another preset in the place of the Jaws preset, which was called I think it was the Rhythm Zoo preset from Wobbleduck's pack. But I found the Jaws preset and I liked that more, but I never changed the name. So it's the Jaws preset, even though it said Zoo. But on that preset there, same thing, Sausage Fattener, I have some chorus added to it, and I have a EQ which I took a little bit of the high away. So let's see here. If I play you that, if I play you Jaws without the effects, it sounds like this. And if I play it with the effects, and also if I play you the i.n.l.y. without effects, and then play it with effects, on the Robo Talk, it has Sausage Fattener, some chorus up there, and it has some EQ, which I added some high and a little bit of low mid. On the Cyber preset, which is from Ghost Hack again, I have Sausage Fattener up there. I have some chorus. I have an EQ which I took away those low frequencies, and then I upped the towards the upper bass and low mid area, and gave it some more upper mid and some more highs. Then I did a low pass filter to make sure those frequencies were completely cut out. Added some reverb and some delay to it. So here's that preset without the effects. And here is that preset with the effects. I route all of the like the dubstep sounds or whatever I'm using for the drop. I route them to a channel which I call the drop channel, and then I route that to a bass bus, which I also put the sub bass up there, or sometimes I'll have dubstep sounds which I don't really include in the drop that are like background filler, and I'll put them in the bass bus sometimes. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if there was something else forgetting. Oh, going back to the main bus. Sorry about that. I have a low pass filter on the main bus here. I cut out those highs there, and as you can see on this automation here, this automation clip here, I have it automated in at the beginning and for the drop. So you can hear that it starts in the beginning here. Oops, I should probably turn that on. And again, this is affecting the sample and all of the instruments all of the other instruments aside from the drop and the bass. And it disappears into also the drop also has a low pass. It is low passed of course for the build itself, and going into when it's transitioning to the last part of the drop to the next part of the song. So that'll be for the second build up and to the outro of the song. You can see that here with this automation clip. I also have an automation clip for the volume of the drop. Of course, when it comes in, I have it at low pass and at a low volume, and it gradually increases in volume, and then it decreases during the last portion of the drop when it goes into the second part of the song and the outro. You can see that here on these automation clips. Moving on to sub bass, I have sausage fattener on that, and I also have an EQ, which I took out a lot of the highs from. I have automated the volume of that to where in the intro I wanted the sub bass to come gradually in, and at the end of the drop, when it goes into the next parts of the song, I do have it decrease along with the volume of the drop. On the effects, on the siren, I have reverb. On the other my siren downer, I have some reverb. So both of those have reverb. And then on my white noise riser, I have some delay. On my drop riser, my big riser, there's nothing on there. On my downer, there's nothing. And then on my drop riser, there's nothing up there. I route all of my FX to one big bus itself. On that, I have put a high pass filter. I put some reverb up there to affect all of them, and I put some delay. So let's see, make sure there's nothing else that I'm missing. Also have my tag up there. Cut out a little bit of the high, and then I use the lo-fi preset on Effector to give it that again, that video game sound, that 8-bit crunch. And then for the Siri effects, at the end of the song, OTT, EQ, taking out a lot of the highs and the low mid, a soft clipper, and some reverb. See another clip. The sample itself, I adjust the volume of it throughout the song. So when it plays in the beginning, it's more prevalent, so I have it at a higher volume. When the other sounds come in, I drop it down some to blend it in with the rest of those sounds. And when it plays during the drop, the little parts that play every 8th bar, I did drop that down so that it's prevalent in the mix, but you can kind of like barely hear it. I just wanted to be like a subtle touch there. See here, is there another automation clip? I don't think there is. Of course, as you can see, I have a sidechain channel here. I send everything. I send my bass bus and my main bus, and sometimes my FX. I'll send them there too. But I know for sure I send my main bus and my bass bus always to a channel, which I named the sidechain channel, and I make a automation clip for that. And of course, that depending on the song and the drums themselves, I may make a few different variations of the sidechain envelope and arrange them. But for this here, it's just the same uniform sidechain channel. And of course, it hits whenever the kick and snare hit. I believe that's it. I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else. Oh, up here. I can forget. Okay, so on my master, I have 2 instances of glitch. One, I am using, I have the take stop and the gate towards the end of every 4 bars. And then on the other one, I have a bunch of downers that I had used this for. One of them is only used for the outro, and that was to censor Siri. So I'm pretty sure it was this one here that has a lot of the take stops. So yeah, that was to censor Siri and keep the song family friendly. And then the second one was for the take stop when it goes and transitions into like the builds. So right there and right here. So that's what I use that for. Also have the master, have an automation for the master volume, which the song fades out, of course. And I also have the stereo separation automated for the build, just to give it that little like oomph to let you guys know that the drop is coming. I automated the stereo separation. And I believe that is it. Yeah, that's it. That's the whole song. So yeah, the mixing, I hope I didn't confuse you guys. If you have questions or anything about it, please let me know, and I'll be sure to get back with you guys. Like I said, I'll update the video or just answer them for you myself. But yeah, not a lot to this project. It was 6 hours. Most projects that I do take well over 6 hours, usually 8 at minimum to 10 or more for me. So 6 hours. This was a pretty quick project. It wasn't really a lot to it. And I don't know, I made it, I put it out, and the song really didn't get much traction. I mean, it got a few plays here and there, but I mean, not a lot. And then I checked one day, and the song got like 10,000 plays or whatever in like one day, and I was like, whoa, what happened? And then I checked again, it was added to like 500 playlists. So I was like, did I miss something? Like, what happened here? So this song now has over 20,000 plays on Spotify, and that's just Spotify. So I was glad that they have something that I put out this year kind of blow up like that. My most played tracks are generally like the Five Nights at Freddy's song. So I was like, something other than Five Nights at Freddy's actually clicked with people and like made it out. So I was happy with that. And then now at this point, it is literally my biggest track ever. Like I don't have any other track that's ever hit that amount of plays in one day or at all, like total. It's the first and only track that has over 20,000 plays for me. So I'm thankful to everyone that streamed, shared, and even purchased the track on iTunes. Like, I appreciate that. Thank you guys. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I'm gonna end it here. I'm pretty sure that's everything about this song here. I know I haven't done much on the music channel. The reason for it is I want to add more content to the music channel. I want to do more full length videos like that, but maybe it's just like a personal issue. I don't know. I honestly feel like I'm not very good at these types of videos and explaining things, so that's why I kind of do the shorts, and I'm still trying to figure out what kind of content I can put up here for these for the music channel, for these types of things. I still haven't figured it out yet. But in the meantime, I do upload to the gaming channel regularly. I try to keep more stuff posted over there, because gaming is really easy to do. But I'm hoping to really find hoping to make good videos on this channel and to figure out what I really can upload and do on this channel. That's something that I really gotta work on next year. But yeah, I do appreciate everyone for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.